I can't tell you how thrilled I am to welcome to the show Cyndy Myers Carlton. She's written a book called The Starfish Theory, The Power of Music. We had a wonderful off-air conversation. I think I could have talked to her for hours, but here we have a great segment for you, and we want to be able to share some stories. So, Cyndy, thanks for coming on. And what was it that made you write this book?
I had wanted to be a music therapist my whole life since I found out about it when I was 18. I went into music education, but I always used my music to help the students I taught. I became a single mom in 1989, and I had a chance to become a music therapist. So I auditioned and I made it. And I went to school and I pursued my dream, and I took every opportunity I could to learn everything that would enable me to use the power of music to change a life, including my own children. And I just worked really hard, and I graduated with music ed and with music therapy.
And so then you start to teach music and you start to share that with so many kids. Tell us some of the stories of the kids, because you've been so generous. I know that you'll find someone, they have talent and they don't have the money for the instrument, and you've gifted that to them.
Right. I started a program in Salt Lake called Music for Literacy. And kids who were struggling in school with being bullied or learning challenges. I even worked with a young man who had problems being arrested. He was always getting in trouble. But I would tell them, be in band or orchestra. And by the end of the year, if you've improved, I will buy you your own horn and I will give you free private lessons. And so I think I probably put about 60 kids through that program.
Wow.
Over a period of about 5 years. And I still hear from some of them. One kid is a drummer in a rock band, and his mom writes to me and sends me videos all the time of all the changes that have happened in his life because he learned how to play the drums, and he had anxiety disorder, and it changed his whole life.
And so you know the power of music, and that's the beauty of it, and that's what the story is about. Tell us about the stories in the book and how you compiled it.
All right. Well, the way it relates to the starfish is that the story goes that the one man says to the other man, you can't possibly make a difference. There's too many. He says, it will make a difference to the ones I throw back. Sorry. And that's my whole premise. Every person that I work with, child, adult, baby, I promise music will make a difference in their lives. And I will figure out how. Sometimes it takes creativity, but I've got all the creativity I need. And I will figure out a way to use music to change them.
So writing this book, what has that meant for you to actually see it, to have those stories out there and to be able to share that with the world?
It's been a dream come true. When Covenant Books said, okay, send us the manuscript, I sent it to them. They said, all right, we're not even going to put you through the process. We're going straight to the executive board because we've never seen a book like this. And within 3 days, it was unanimous and they published it like that. And it's been so cool because I have my students will come to my classes. Miss Carlton, I bought your book. Will you sign it? And even this week, teachers, parents, I bought your book. Will you sign it? And they're reading it and they're finding out about me. They're finding out how much I love my students and that I would basically do anything for my students. And I had a book signing a couple of weeks ago. When I walked into Barnes and Noble, there was like 5 of my kids in there family's there and they're hugging me, Miss Carlton, Miss Carlton. I mean, how can you not be changed by that? How can you not be affected by that? You know that you've made a difference. And
Absolutely.
that's all that matters to me, is that I reach these children, adults, whoever I work with, and use that power I've been trained to have to reach their soul and say, okay, here's a gift. This is going to make a difference in your life.
So the name of the story again is, and Cyndy just told you about it, The Starfish Theory, The Power of Music. Cyndy Myers Carlton's book is in Barnes & Noble, Amazon, wherever great books are sold. And ultimately, when people buy this book, what do you hope they take away from reading it?
I tell them it's 21 short stories. Read one at a time, and you will walk away with a smile on your face, and your whole day will go great. And even my students, they'll come in. I read the story about the boy with the clarinet. Did you really do that, Miss Carlton? Did that really happen? And I tell them, yeah. It's just a testimony of, if you use your imagination and you use your training and you're passionate about what you do, you can help a person, a child. And nowadays, especially, that is so important, to reach these people and make a difference.
It is so important to reach these people. Tell us one. We don't want to tell all the stories, but tell us one of the stories from the book.
All right. Well, I thought of one today. I was working with a boy who was nonverbal, and they mainstreamed him into my general music class. And so I also worked with him on a private music therapy session. Well, we were doing the Addams Family for Halloween. And so we would do the da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And so the next morning I went in to visit his class, and the bus driver comes in and says, who taught this kid the Addams Family? And all of us looked at him, and I said, I did. He said, he sang it all the way home and all the way back to school. This was a totally non-verbal student.
Wow.
And everybody was just, oh my gosh, his first words were the Addams Family tune. And from there, I was able to work with him through a special music therapy technique called melodic intonation therapy. And we got him becoming verbal.
Wow.
So, yeah, he learned to talk enough to communicate. So that's one. Another one is about an older adult. I worked in several nursing homes, and I would see so many sad stories. And this lady wanted to go home, but she couldn't walk yet. And her doctor said, when you can walk, you can go home. So I went over to her and I said, meet me at the nurse's station tomorrow morning. She goes, okay. Next morning, she brings her walker. I get on a stool with a big boom box. I put in a CD. She loves Chattanooga Choo Choo. So I'm rolling backwards down the hallway with this big boom box on my lap. And all of a sudden, she is just strutting her stuff down the hall, all the way around and back to her room. We did that for 3 days, and she was able to go home. And just to see just that power, just that distraction, her favorite song just synchronized with her body, and man, she was just chugging it down that hall. It was the most amazing thing. It really was. And so, yeah,
the power of music.
Right. That's why I wanted to be a music therapist.
Yeah.
So.
And that's what your book is all about, that it's so inspiring, so uplifting. And there's so many other stories that you share in it. Again, The Starfish Theory, The Power of Music, Cyndy Myers Carlton. What a delight to have you on. You are a gift to the world. And please go out and buy this book.
Thank you so much for having me.